Hello, I'm Joel Blackford with Beth Hassan Sabbath Fellowship. Thank you for joining us. We're virtual only, based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. The phone number works if you'd like to contact us. We do the thought behind the thought, the philosophy of eschatology, what you need to know, your reality, your existence. We try to solve a little piece of revelation each week. And this is mostly Matthew 24 and Revelation chapter 6, the sixth seal, and signs leading up to that. So we're talking about rolling blackouts until the sixth seal. We're in the precursor mode right now where we're seeing these signs. They're increasing, and I'll explain them to you as we get through the video. The main thing is we're leading up to an event like the Carrington event. So this is from September 1st and 2nd, 1859. Space.com published this a number of years ago. And so it's still current in terms of the Carrington event occurs every 150 to 200 years. A huge solar flare will burst off the sun, the CME, whatever it happens to be, and it will cause, in this case, a white light flare, they'll call it, and then it travels in about 8 minutes. We see the flash, and then in about 18 to 72 hours, we will feel the proton surge. And so yeah, it's horrific. And what occurs is that it takes out all your power lines. It causes all sorts of problems, okay? People getting sunburned just by going out fishing. Calves and rabbits and birds died of suffocation, okay? So these things are due, and it's due soon. We don't know how soon. It could be 20 years away. It could be next month. But the main thing is I want you to be aware of the Carrington event and study up on it so that you're aware, because rolling blackouts are starting to occur. And I want to be able to cover that with you. I'm sorry, I hope you can't hear the guy that's got his leaf blower out. But anyway, rolling blackouts are coming. We do the thought behind the thought, rolling blackouts, what's going on, is this biblical? Is it prophecy, fake news, things like that? So there are these coronal holes from the sun, and then they enter our atmosphere much easier. Say down below here, that's the South Pole. I'm kidding. It's the South Atlantic anomaly. But at some point in time, scientists are saying that seems to be where the South Pole is going to relocate. Okay, and or possibly the North Pole. No, it'll be the South Pole. So the main thing is there are these openings, and we're noticing them as the electrical blackouts are occurring. So the first blackout was Puerto Rico, April 16th, 2025. More than 40% of Puerto Rican customers without power after island-wide blackout. So this is from Reuters. And yeah, it's just interesting. So the electric company announced that residents should expect 4 times as many blackouts this coming summer, 2 weeks after another major blackout hit the entire island. Okay, I'm telling you, there are these pinprick holes that are opening up in our magnetosphere and our ozone layer, and you're going to notice more of this, and we'll give you 3 citations here. But this is the mirror on the right-hand side. Puerto Rico warned to brace for non-stop summer blackouts as power grid crumbles. Okay, there are different reasons. I'll give you the real reason today. Number 2, Spain and Portugal. This is more recent here, okay, in the last week, and today is May 4th. And so the main thing is Ben Davidson noticed it. It's not even close, but the weakening magnetic field causing random geoelectric surging or allowing too many cosmic rays to penetrate? Yes. So it's not some of the other things that they're telling you. They were close to the edge in terms of they had worked out all of their coal and nukes and things like that, and they had gone with more natural means, photoelectric, which would be solar panels or windmills, things like that. But now they're right at the edge of capacity, and so when the plasma hits, when there's a plasma penetration event, wow. Okay, so just be aware, and we can monitor this too. We have the GOES X-ray flux and other ways of monitoring what's going on. So, there's more going on. So let's read a couple of things from Ben Davidson. A weak magnetic field allowed a plasma penetration event in our atmosphere that triggered this blackout in Europe yesterday. So that's as of April 29th. Massive blackout in Spain, Portugal, and France left 15 million without power. Earth's magnetic field let a solar wind breakthrough event occur. We don't even have a name for whatever just happened yesterday because it's so fresh, okay? So whatever you learned 5-10 years ago, even what you learned first thing in 2023 doesn't apply in April of 2025. I watched the energy hit the F layer over the North Atlantic. I watched the total electron content surge. Yeah, in that specific pinpoint area. This was a weak spot in Earth's magnetic field, allowing a solar wind plasma penetration. It just shot straight down in the global electric circuit. So once again, this is all Ben Davidson from Space Weather News. We've been getting away too much in terms of about how bad Earth's magnetic field is doing. Once again, Ben. And then the last one, the way the event went down, this is brand new. I was expecting stuff like this to start happening between 2030 and 2035, but this event, and then what happened in Puerto Rico, the blackout. So these events are happening faster and faster and faster. So it's progressing quickly. Number 3. This is, you're going to say, who cares about Bali? It's part of Indonesia. The problem is it matters because according to Ben, and I'll just read it to you on the right-hand side because it was the undersea cables that were hit. Let's begin with the solar wind event. It's the coronal hole plasma speed continued surging higher throughout the day, but the geomagnetic disturbance peaked about 2 or 3 a.m. UTC, which happens to be about 9 o'clock a.m. local time in Bali, Indonesia, and they suffered a major blackout at the exact moment the number one vulnerable infrastructure to solar storms, that's the undersea cables, are where the event took place. If you know space weather and you know the undersea cables are the major concern, along with solar panels, bit flip glitches, and transformer explosions, folks, I hope this isn't welcoming the new normal, but our magnetic field is weakening and the pole shift is coming. And this is exactly what you'd expect to see. And we expect it to start with something like 3 solar storms causing 3 major blackouts in a row. So that's Ben Davidson again. So we can track this. This was only a 5-level storm, so it's really not that big of a deal. But it hits undersea cables more painfully. Okay, so we have the South Atlantic anomaly. We do. But we also have these pinprick holes developing as the magnetic field thins. We think it's down to 27%, down by 27% of its total strength, dated back to 1859, the Carrington event. This is from Science Alert. NASA is watching a huge growing anomaly in Earth's magnetic field, but it's also in other areas as it thins progressively across the world. So the agencies, were particularly vulnerable to the weakened magnetic field strength within the anomaly and the resulting exposure to charged particles from the sun. So it's electric and it's magnetic, and it's how God created everything. So in addition to that, we had this nasty earthquake, a series of them, down in the Magellan Straits, down south of Peru and Argentina, and wow, nasty stuff very close to the anomaly. Was it caused by being so close to the anomaly? I don't know. But this is dated 5-2, 6-4. No, yeah, that's Argentina. But the 7-4 was the big one, Drake Passage. So there you go, 5-2. So just keep that in mind. These signs are going to get worse, and the EQs should increase over time. So I want to cite, this is crazy talk on the left-hand side. Bill Gates is saying we need a $66 million experiment to dim the sun to combat global warming. It gets it's okay, but the critics have called it barking mad, and it is, from April 24th of 2025. And it's a very dangerous concept, but it's Bill Gates. What would you expect? On the right-hand side, I just want you to be aware of this guy too. I love Ben Davidson, but I also like Tarek Naizi. And he is originally from Egypt, but he works over in UAE, I think it is. So he's been tracking these things for years. He's also a friend of mine. And so the electronic magnetic poles have started moving eastwards since 160 years ago, Carrington event, leading to a weaker field in the Western Hemisphere. And this is from 2012. Things have changed, but he's talking about global warming. We may go into global cooling. We'll see. You will have weird variations. So he's talking about the magnetic poles moving, and then the collision of spiraling protons at higher speed generate more thermal radiation, leading to surface temperatures to increase. He's right. Okay, but there are other things. When you melt the polar cap, you will have cooling. So you'll have certain regions cooling. Okay, so I want you to be aware of him. I'll probably cite him more as I ask more questions of him now. He's been watching my videos, and he's a great guy. He's a brilliant man. So Ben Davidson, the overall thinning magnetosphere, and then these pinprick holes, yes, it'll get worse. So Ben's comment is, concerning the power outage in Europe, Earth pole shift hits another level. This was not the sun. It was not Russia. It was not China. It was not hacking. It was not the extreme heat. It was a weak spot in the Earth's magnetic field, allowing a solar wind penetration. So on the right-hand side, US, UK world magnetic model, we just have to start watching these things because we'll see the anomaly there, and we'll have high pressure areas. And so what's going to happen is plasma penetrations in certain weak spots. Okay. Of course, they don't know why Spain's lights went out. The same person who worship windmills and shut down real power are now scratching their heads as civilization crumbles in the dark. Energy is survival. Without it, nations don't debate policy. They collapse. They burn. If we don't tear this madness out by the root, we won't lose our power. Okay. And if we don't, so we'll lose everything. So what's coming, we can't stop. Okay. What's coming with the thinning magnetosphere and attacks from the sun, they're not going to get any better. Now, even though we're going from solar maximum into solar minimum, there will be surges during this time as we go into solar minimum. So what should you expect again? Solar ozone destruction, solar forcing of heat, solar forcing of precipitation, solar forcing of wind, solar forcing of lightning, solar forcing of storms, solar forcing of ENSO, PDO, NAO, AMO, AMs, solar forcing of Hadley cells, and Walker circulation. You should notice that we're going through this horrible time frame where the magnetosphere is going to thin even faster as the sun bombards us. So all being amplified now because Earth's field is weakening. I'm sorry, there's a typo there, but it's amplified now because of Earth's field is weakening. So just keep in mind, I'm guesstimating that we're going to hit the sixth seal as it thins a little bit more. Then eventually we'll hit the sixth bowl, and it will be horrific during those time frames. And you can see once again, nothing really changed from 1859, and then suddenly now it's really bad. So May 1st, auroras. What storm? We didn't notice much of a storm. Not much, little fives and things like that. But there were auroras in Tasmania. So it's just getting bizarre. We're seeing auroras all the time, and they're breaking records. Low latitude auroras. So these low latitude auroras cause us concerns because we know that we have a leaky diaper. We have a magnetosphere, an ozone layer that's thinning. So we didn't really notice these things until March of 2023, then April of 2023, then November of 2023, then May of 2024. And now we're getting these records constantly. We're in trouble. So you need to start planning for what's going to occur. So what I'm going to do is go through the Bible, just so you're aware of it, okay? And so Earth's kings will know when there's a micronova, and all of us will know, and I'll explain it to you based on the Bible. Then I watched as he broke the sixth seal, and there was a great earthquake. I'm arguing that's a micronova unlocking the crust, that the mantle would then break free. The sun turned black as sackcloth trichonos. That is the final stage of a micronova. That is sackcloth that you wear in mourning, and it will be layered like a goat's shiny mohair angora type of a cloth garment, okay? Worn in mourning, of course. 3 days of darkness, potentially, yes, that would make sense. And the full moon became blood red, so it synchronizes. The full moon, blood red, with this event that will occur at some point in time. The next one happens to be Elul, which is September 7th and 8th of 2025. The stars fell from the heaven. That will be a micronova dust accumulation event, and so the stars will fall from heaven. In terms of how John would describe it, they're dust, but they'll look like stars, okay, like a meteor shower. Just as a fig tree drops its whatever timing it happens to be, these figs, probably winter figs, when shaken by a strong wind. That's Revelation 6:12 through 13. According to Ben again, the sun will turn from yellow to white to red to black. And in most cases, the sun is white already. We're expecting red to black, and then we'll go micronova. It'll be a small one. We'll probably recover in 3 to 4 months, but it'll occur. Continuing on with Revelation 6:14 through 15, the sky receded like a little scroll, like a Megillah. That's a smaller scroll. Not worldwide. There will be these openings in certain sections. When it's being rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved, not far, but it'll be enough to scare you from its place. Then the earth's kings, the rulers, the generals, the rich and the mighty, indeed everyone slave and free, hid himself in caves and among the rocks and the mountains. When this occurs, everyone will know about it, even me. So you'll watch the billionaires run to their danger bunkers, and guess what? Some of them are stupid. Mark Zuckerberg is an idiot. He plopped his little bunker out on the Hawaiian Islands. he's going to get killed by the slosh. And he may not make it to Hawaii, okay? If you're flying a plane and it's like having lightning bolts come out of the sky, it'll take your plane down. Okay, planes are going to be knocked out of the air. So, and you don't want to be in a boat out there either on water. No, you really don't. So basically, watch the billionaires when they start prepping and leaving for their doomsday, prepping whatever it is, fire remotes and water cannons and blah blah blah. Watch them. Okay, this is from the Hollywood Reporter, and then said to the mountains and rocks and bunkers, fall on us and hide us from the face of the one sitting on the throne, that's the Father, and from the fury, orge, of the Lamb, that's the Son, Yeshua. This is proof that the rich and the poor will be aware of the sixth seal. For the great day of their fury, orge again, has come, and who can stand? That's Revelation 6:16 through 17. That's the end of it. So basically, we should expect it. And guess what? All the wealthy people out there know this is coming. They're tracking, see on the left-hand side, this is from The Economist magazine, the various eclipses that matter to them, solar and lunar, okay? And the various leaders that are fighting against each other. And the time seems to be running out. And other issues, the global, the pole flip, we'll call it, and nukes and other, they're aware things are changing, okay? So when? Okay, I'm arguing that the best time to have this occur is 9/7 of 25. Okay, I could be wrong, but we have a series of 9 of these. We've come through one. We've got another one coming up on 9/7 and 9/8 of 2025. But we've got these blood moon eclipses, and according to the Bible, it should match up with this solar outburst. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of the sun and what's going on. So, and the D stands for Deagle. Deagle means major depopulation events in 2025. It could still happen. Okay, and then it'll get much worse because there's a galactic magnetic current sheet coming through. That's dust. It's sticky dust. It's electromagnetic. It will stick to the sun and the planets. I don't know how it sticks to the sun, but it can, and stick to the moon too. And so that is that event that I'm describing, and then it gets worse over time. So the sixth seal is this dust event striking the sun and sticking and like a Swiffer, and then the fourth angel, which would be the shofars, the 7 trumpets. The fourth one will be another micro level dust event, okay, and a third less light from the sun, the moon, the stars. Then the horrible one, the kill shot, comes through. That is Revelation, not 6, it's 16, 8 through 9. And that's the fourth one pouring out his dust bowl on the sun, as it was permitted to burn people with fire. That's a major kill shot in a micronova. People were burned by the intense heat, yet they cursed the name of God, who had the authority over these plagues, instead of turning from their sins to give him glory. So keep that in mind. It's coming. It gets worse. It's more like love taps at first. And the other factor that will occur at some point in time is that the earth will wobble like a drunk until it flips over, about 90 degrees. So, oh, how the traitors betray and betray. Terror, pit, and trap are upon you. You who are living on the earth, he who flees at the sound of terror will fall into the pit. He who climbs up out of the pit will be caught in the trap for the windows. H699 Aruba, which is floodgates, lattice, sluice. It's the magnetosphere. It is. Okay, have been opened, and the earth's foundations shake. The earth cracks and breaks open. The earth crumbles to pieces. The earth trembles and totters. The earth swaggers, staggers, to and fro like a drunk, sways back and forth like a watchman's shelter. Its transgression weighs heavy upon it. It will fall and not rise again. That's Isaiah 24, 16 through 20. So just keep that in mind. This is describing what's going to occur. And within there, it talks about the Marome opening up. And even though Doug Hamp doesn't agree with me, that's what it is. Sorry, this is what is occurring. So I live on the 45th parallel north. I'll end up on the 45th parallel south. Now, Greenland would be a great place to live. Another place would be northern Canada. That would be great. Wow, what a wonderful place to live. I'll be okay. 45th parallel is fine for me. I live there now. I'll live there in the south. I'll just look at new stars. So there's going to be a glitch. And this is from Ivanka Trump from May 2nd. Affirm, yes, if you are ready by June, you will be completely living in a completely different environment. Upgrades are coming. I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking it's a peace agreement. I think that's code for the Abraham Accord peace agreements, but there could be a glitch. And so the glitch is that when people are saying everything is so peaceful and secure, then destruction will come suddenly upon them. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. So we're getting ready for that. And so, yes, Trump's going to run out and cause so many peace agreements you won't be able to count them. But on the other hand, when peace comes, then destruction comes right afterwards. So watch for the Matrix and the cat scene. Yep. Trump's going to be doing all sorts of things. He's running out 512, 513, from 515. He's going to run to Saudi Arabia and other places and sign peace agreements under a blood moon. It's not an eclipse, but we have the eclipse on 314, the blood moon eclipse. We have one coming up on 7-8-7-7-7-8. I mean 9-7-9-8. Okay, but in the meantime, you're going to have these other eclipses, and the most bizarre one is going to be 6/11 of 2025. That is when the Satanists get together worldwide and curse and try to open up portals. We'll have a show that night. Don't worry. You'll want to watch that. We'll have Courtney Turner on the show. And so just keep that in mind. It's going to be an interesting time as Trump tries to give peace to the world and to Israel between these blood moon eclipses and the solar eclipses, and all the times are just bizarre. So this is from Tom Horn. This could still happen. We could still go into the Great Tribulation this year, the final 7 years. So Tom Horn, his Wormwood prophecy, it wouldn't occur on June 8th. It could occur possibly by after September 22nd, probably October 31st, right in that range. Okay, that would be more during Heshvan. And so just be aware. It's going to be very interesting for the year. And so Tom Horn talked about it. Polar flip acceleration will occur from 2028 to 2029. April 13th of 2029 will be the Apophis wormwood striking the Earth. It won't strike the Earth, but it'll be frightening. Oh, bad. And then the 7 bowls would be poured out. Assuming Tom Horn is correct, we start in 2025. The bowls would pour out in 2029 through 2032. And so he would say the end would be October 13th, 2032. Not really, not exactly, but it'll be close. He's not always that good. Tom never really kept the Moedim or Sabbath, so he's kind of off on his calculations and things. You'll see more of this. You'll see anti-messiahs, a Muslim messiah, other anti-messiahs. You'll see him claiming, in this case, to be the Pope. So this is Muslim messiah is here, and he is coming to replace the Pope. From Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz. By the way, watch that video with him from last week. Amazing, wonderful. For April 30th of 2025, I'm not going to cover him in full right now. I'm just saying that it's interesting that he came out on Easter Sunday and announced he is replacing the Pope, and that the Pope was announced that he died the next day, but he died on Easter Sunday. He did, and that's odd. So this guy is Jewish and part Muslim and kind of Christianish, and he's claiming that he's going to be the false Messiah. Interesting. So we'll just see. I won't talk about him much now. I'll probably discuss him more with Jacob Israel when he comes on the show on 5/15 of 25. So I'm telling you, we'll start talking about the prognostications now, the predictions. So I'm telling you that this is wise on the left-hand side. From Luis Garicano, back online, still no light here. Lessons from Spain are a really weird day. No electricity, no 4G, no Wi-Fi for the world. Go out and buy a pocket. I'm recommending a crank-up power radio. It's really disconcerting to have no way to know what is going on. Buy a battery-powered torch. Okay, buy battery-powered or other types of items. Start to stock up. There were none left in the shops. Keep cash. I had none. Keep cash. Keep spare batteries. Keep ways to survive, okay? And because you're going to be noticing an increase in total electron content as we go forward, and no real way to protect against it, okay? Ben predicts very specific electromagnetic issues. EM issues keep happening with clear evidence of natural origin. They blame climate, renewables, hacking, and any other thing they can except the real cause. Earth's magnetic pole shift is ongoing. This is a geomagnetic excursion, and no amount of blank blank coming out of their mouths will stop it or stop me from being correct over and over again in the yes. Next up, airplanes fall from the sky due to climate-related turbulence, which I call pole shift-driven GEC fluctuations at the boundary. So yeah, global electric current circuit rather, boundary layers. So just be aware. Ben's right. So once again, buy something, if it can be solar powered or crank up, that's okay, because the sun's going to be our problem. So you'll have solar power, you will, but you want it portable and wherever you're going with this. But This makes sense because these rolling blackouts are going to continue. And we have the problem with the magnetosphere. We just do. So look at things like this because you need to know what's going on. There could be storms coming your way because as the sun kicks off more energy, photons, protons, whatever, then you'll see more auroras. Then you'll see more storms and lightning. Then you'll have earthquakes increasing. Then the anomaly will be increasing, and you'll have the pole flip eventually. The signs are increasing. Ben is warning you this way. At some point, Earth's weakening magnetic field will weaken so much that the planet will not be able to sustain even a moderate disruption in the solar wind. When that occurs, the grids will go down and there will be no more power as the sun continually ramps up towards micronova and this magnetic field continues to weaken. Cosmic radiation will bombard the planet more and more. At some point, the solar system will enter the point where the galactic magnetic reversal occurs. The sun will go dark for 3 days, followed by a solar micronova, and the planet will go twist 90 degrees. Okay, so that's my buddy Ben. And boy, has he changed. He's lost weight. He looks great. That's Ben. Hide up in the cave up high in the mountains. We disagree on one thing. I believe the Ozarks are a safe zone. You'll have angels protecting you. If you can get to the Ozarks, it's a safe place. He's up in the Denver area. Even though he argues with me over this, I'm going to push the Ozarks. Okay? And I have friends down there, and they know God told them to be there. Okay, so the vision from David Wilkerson from 1973, weather will become increasingly difficult to forecast. Sudden storms will appear without warning. Southernmost regions will be gripped by record cold waves, and northern areas will experience record heat waves. Airline pilots will be reporting the worst flying conditions, and this is already the case. I have airline pilots that are friends, and these are the worst conditions so far. The most intensive hurricanes are coming. Many parts of the world will face the most violent winters of all times. Europe faces the worst winter lashings ever. Hailstorms, large chunks, well, as if Europe would repent. America will repent for the most part. Hailstorms, large chunks of ice will fall out of the sky and cause much damage. These storms will not only destroy crops and smash automobiles, but they will also cause death of many people. Watch out for reports of intense ice storms and hailstorms in the future. Also prepare for the most severe winter of all time and record snowfalls in the U.S. and Canada. The United States is going to experience, in the not-too-distant future, the most tragic earthquakes in its history. One day soon, this nation will be reeling under the impact of the biggest news story of modern times. The coverage will be the biggest, most disastrous earthquake in history. It will cause widespread panic and fear. Without a doubt, it will become one of the most completely reported earthquakes ever. Television networks will suspend all programming. You need to have a crank-up radio so you can hear these things. The beginning of sorrows. Floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, hailstorms will occur more frequently. More than one-third of the U.S. will be designated as a disaster area within the next few years. Nature will go wild. Floods, hurricanes, tornadoes will destroy crops, animals, and much wildlife, driving prices even higher and causing some experts, that's third seal stuff, to suggest that nature is losing its balance. Dudeman says, civil war fomented by communists in the center of USA. Yeah, that too. So I want to cite this because this is The Economist showing the eagle being bandaged and only 1,361 days to go with Trump. But on the right-hand side, the prophetic word is from Michael Boldea, The Eagle and the Serpents. Just go read the whole prophecy. It takes you a couple of minutes. Just Google Michael Boldea, The Eagle and the Serpents, Hand of Help Ministries. And so just keep in mind the eagle had a brown snake lunge at the eagle and bite down in its left wing. That was 9/11. Then another serpent appeared, red and black, diagonal stripes covering its body, without hesitation struck at the eagle's right wing. So we're going to have another bite coming, okay? Then finally at the end, another serpent slithered toward the eagle, opened its jaws, lunged, taking the whole of the eagle's head in its mouth before biting down. That's our prophecy. That's what's coming. So keep that in mind. Just go out and Google it. Find The Eagle and the Serpents by Michael Boldea. Read it for yourself. Now, I have been mean and nasty to John Paul Jackson over the years because it sounded ridiculous. This is basically a 2005 prophecy recorded in 2008, The Coming Perfect Storm. Why? Because he went on Joni Lamb's show all the time, and Joni Lamb says Pete did not abuse granddaughter, says child accused boy in preschool. That's a lie. She's a liar. If her lips are moving, she's lying. But John Paul Jackson, just like Yeshua went into these places that were filthy, it didn't contaminate his message nor him. Okay, so in this case, John Paul Jackson says this: coming. In time, water will be more expensive than oil, and cities will evacuate thousands because there is not enough water to meet their needs. Amos 4:7. I made it rain on one city, and I withheld rain from another city. Earthquakes will strike not only coastal areas, but devastate the Midwest as well. Israel will bomb. That's the New Madrid fault, okay, which is fairly close to not the Cascades, the Ozarks, but not close enough. Israel will bomb Iran. He's right. That's coming. Okay, and anti-Semitism will escalate as fuel costs soar. A dirty bomb will explode in a coastal city. There will be thunderstorms with huge hail, 24 inches of rain in 24 hours, 3 feet of snow in 6 hours, record-setting tornadoes with winds of more than 350 miles per hour. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And tornadoes in unusual places. There will be an unexpected blight that will hit various hybrid seed crops and weaken the yield. In addition, drought and devastation from storms will dramatically cut into various harvests, and with national food and storage will deplete. Okay, so in the middle of this slide, I want you to look at this. Michael and Miranda Snyder are friends of mine. I had Michael on the show. I talked to Miranda. I just talked to her 5 minutes before I recorded this. Lost Prophecies. I can't read the slide, but anyway, of the future of America. I have the book sitting here. Okay. Michael and Miranda are smart. They've cataloged all of it. I disagree with some of their people, but you know what? I'm thrilled that they cataloged it, so I have the ability. What I want you to do is test prophecies. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 through 20. You're supposed to learn how to chew things and then spit out the bones, and they're helping you to know some of the prophecies. And so it's a book that you can order. Okay, so that's how I found John Paul Jackson in the first place, was through Miranda. Trump. Countries buying oil from Iran will face sanctions. Okay, so Israel Yom HaYom, the day, and what date is this? 5/1 of 2025. So President Trump warned that any country purchasing oil or petrochemical products from Iran would be subject to secondary sanctions. This means that Trump's going to allow Israel and himself to bomb Iran. Okay, yeah, that's the statement. Trump makes dramatic statement in an interview with NBC. Complete dismantling of Iran's nuclear program is the only thing I'm willing to accept in the nuclear talks. And that was Amir Tsarfati that published this on 5/4/25. Coming back, Amir added, Iranian defense minister responds to Netanyahu, if attacked by the U.S. or Israel, Iran will attack their interests, bases, and forces wherever and whenever it sees fit. Okay, that's a sign that they're going to start the war. John Paul Jackson prophesied it 20 years ago. It's happening. Check out Lost Prophecies. Check out Michael and Miranda Snyder. And in general, Michael blogs under many different names and things like that, but good people, really good, godly people. Israel will strike Iran. Parallel by a nose. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so once again, Israel, Ynet News, Israel may strike Iran before nuclear talks conclude, says security expert. That's a sign that I just showed you. This is just yesterday. There you go. So this happened just recently, and Israel could launch the preemptive strike anytime. This is a Joelism, not thus saith the Lord, but Cardinal Parolin, who is really, he's the guy that runs the show. He'll be chosen. Okay, his name is Peter the Roman. He's from Rome. And the Vatican Secretary of State, Parolin, was involved in with the Vatican-China deal, which sold out the underground church. Yep, in China. Cardinal Zen said of Parolin that it was a shameless surrender, and that Parolin has he has a poisoned mind. Parolin praised the Amoris Laetitia and contained at least 7 heresies. Whoa, okay. So he's going to be the guy, okay? The conservatives can't stop him. So where are we in all of this? We are in the birth pangs. We are approaching Seal 6. That could take off this fall. Tribulation after that. Great tribulations after that. Expect more and more and more rolling blackouts. That's what's going to occur. You're getting ready for a wedding. You can't be naked. You have to have clean garments. They have to be very clean. Those are the deeds of Yeshua that you must keep. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot of a future year. You'll get married in a wedding ceremony. So be prepared for that. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully we can meet again next week. God bless. God bless.